Friends, welcome back. Today we are going to discuss another subject biomedical equipment, procurement, engineering, training, and its implementation. Before proceeding, I just want to ask some query. Are you the investor of or a stakeholder of a hospital? Who is purchasing the biomedical equipment in your hospital? Is it doing by yourself or it's by a team of members? Do you know the difference between DLP and maintenance? Whether your hospital equipment can integrate with the latest HI system. Finally, do you know the approximate cost of medical equipment in your hospital? In case for all these queries you are well aware about that one or your answer is yes, no need to watch further this video. Myself, Valsaraj, who has done major hospital project like medical college, ambulatory care center, health care center, polyclinic, cancer hospital and taluk hospital of multi-story building in various area, and I have seen all the time the biomedical equipment procurement and its installation face a lot of problem because of the lack of coordination and all the issue. In hospital project I have seen that 30 to 35% of the total project cost will go to the medical equipment procurement. So equipment procurement is a major activity in the hospital. So in order to make each stakeholder to understand what are the procedures to be followed in medical equipment life cycle, I have divided the entire activity into three stages. First one is the procurement process, and then the engineering, testing, and commissioning process of the equipment, then training and post implementation of the process. Each process will divide into three videos. This first one is procurement process, one video, then second video is engineering testing, third one is the training and post implementation process. So understand the each activity and watch each video to get a total idea of medical equipment life cycle. First one is the need assessment. The need assessment itself is divided into 10 categories: the clinical requirement, patient load analysis, technical feasibility, budget availability. Budget availability, we can then see that capital cost evaluation, operating cost, life cycle cost, and then the budget approval like that. Then regulatory review, vendor approval, risk assessment, approval for the equipment like AERB approval or a technical approval, management approval like that. There's different types of approval comes. Then comes the procurement. So after this need analysis, a proper chart has to be prepared, need analysis has to be made, and it means a systematic approach to ensure right equipment, right quality at right cost and right time. This is the first principle when procurement process starts. In procurement, the purchasing strategy is very important because sometimes the investor may say that he is the owner of the building, owner of the hospital, and he started deciding everything. It will not go to the right way because the end user will be the doctor, the nurse, or the operator. They are the end user of the equipment, and the beneficiary, the patient, is also a stakeholder of the equipment. So it has to be decided, a team has to be decided what type of equipment has to be procured. That strategy has to be decided by a team of clinician, biomedical engineer, financial officer, procurement specialist to bring various aspects of the equipment to discuss and finalize the equipment. A strategic approach to align procurement with organizational goals and clinical priorities is very important. You can see the purchasing strategy also divided into 6 categories. That this category, if we follow, it will help us to finalize the equipment. Even if it's a stethoscope, if we follow this step-by-step action, the procurement will be very easy, and the end user will has to get the maximum benefit. Equipment requisition evaluation, budget allocation, these are all part of need assess, but it is the division of the purchasing strategy. Follow this one and the equipment procurement will be safe and in a good way. Next is evaluation. Evaluation involves systematically assessing potential equipment option to determine the best fit for a healthcare facility, that the hospital which is the best equipment, which is the best requirement. That evaluation process has to happen. This the evaluation process also divided into 4 or 5 categories. You can see technical specification review, on-site demonstration, consultation with the current users, review of performance data, regulatory clearance, and history. It's also divided into different category sections. You can see that one so that the evaluation process will be in a good way. Now then comes the supplier selection. Unfortunately, in many hospitals, what happens, the supplier is selected early. Then it is decided what the supplier will say that what type of equipment is required for the hospital. But this is not correct method. The hospital has to decide what type of equipment has required for the hospital, best performance of the hospital, what is the requirement, and everything has to be decided by the hospital as per the previous steps. Then the supplier has to be selected with this various step 1 to 5 has to be processed to select the supplier. Reputation and track record has to be checked. The financial stability has to be checked. The long-term support has to be checked. Warranty and service agreement has to be checked. And finally, the most importantly, the ethical business practice also has to be checked. Most of the time, without checking all these reliability conditions, the supplier is selected. Thereafter, argument with the supplier starts. Selecting reliable supplier is an important path in the procurement strategy. Next is a comprehensive cost analysis. Comprehensive cost analysis means total financial impact throughout the device's life cycle, which includes acquisition cost, operational cost, maintenance, upgrade, and end of life cycle cost. Many a time I have seen that the hospital, the investor will calculate the purchase cost and installation and running cost. Sometimes he will may take care about the maintenance cost slightly. Whereas, for example, if we purchased a CT scan, see, it is not for 1 or 2 year. You have to see that it is for 20 year, 30 years in future, because after the 30 years, we don't know what upgrade is going to happen. So we have to see the upgrading cost of that CT scan after 20 year or 25 year. So that cost also is a part of cost analysis. End of life cycle also is very important, because after discarding the equipment, it has to be demolished, removed from the location, and it has to be discarded. So that also without affecting the safety of the people, public, this has to be discarded. So all this is a part of comprehensive cost analysis. Just want to add one more thing in my experience. See, most of the equipment have defect liability, DLP, and maintenance. See, it is segregated with a narrow line. Supplier will give defect liability for their equipment. For example, suppose they supply one suppliers given CT scan. So it includes a printer also. Just to understand, I'm taking the printer. The printer is valid, DLP is valid only if maintenance is properly done. Or for CT scan also, it is the same condition. They will write at the bottom, DLP for 10 years is valid only if the equipment is maintained properly. So yeah, there is a huge maintenance cost. The supplier itself has to call for maintenance purpose. So then only the defect liability DLP will be valid. Like that, all the cost has to be analyzed before procuring the equipment. Next is the regulatory compliance of the equipment. For a better understanding, entire hospital equipment I have divided into 5 categories. The first one is general medical equipment, which comes in ventilator, operation OT lights, ICU bed, laboratory equipment, infusion pumps, etc. comes as a general medical equipment, which requires CDSCO registration license. Like it means CDSCO means Central Drugs Standard Control Organization approval, electrical safety compliances, hospital engineering approval, and commissioning and acceptance testing is required for general medical equipment. Whereas the next category is radiology equipment. Most critical equipment is the radiology equipment, which needs major approvals of AERB approval, Typically, ARB approval process includes various processes which already I given in a chart. The examples are X-ray, CT scan, cath lab, mammography, fluoroscopy, PET-CT. All are comes under radiology equipment and which needs major approval. A path has to be followed. Now coming to the third category, MRI installation. MRI installation does not need AERB approval because it does not use ionizing radiation. But however, it needs various other approval like structural approval of magnet load, RFI shield, HVAC validation, fire safety clearance, electrical safety clearance, etc. required for MRI installation. Coming to the next category, nuclear medicine required AERB approval in various stages, PET-CT, SPECT and gamma camera, etc. all required AERB approval, and approval from radioactive waste disposal approval is required. Now, ELORA registration means e-licensing of radiation application. It is a systematic approval process with AERB following by the government of India. It is the online portal application process. X-ray machines, CT scan systems, cath lab, mammography, then fluoroscopy equipment, and LINAC radiotherapy equipment like LINAC, cobalt unit, all need AERB approval licensing process, which has to be applied through ELORA. See, in addition to the all other approvals, hospital level statutory approval also very important, like fire and rescue department approval, electrical inspectorate, pollution control board, NABH, local municipality, and other applicable standard of the installation and commissioning of the equipment, hospital equipment. All these approvals are very important to run the hospital equipment in a proper way. Once all these approvals are obtained, it is safe to run the hospital in a safe manner. How to do the procurement of medical equipment? We have covered the subject very fast only. Those who need more detail, you can subscribe the channel, get the information, or contact in the telephone number. You can do message in the or email into the channel to get more details about the procurement of medical equipment and other items. In the second video, we will cover the engineer aspect, the building size, MEP requirement, like electrical HVAC requirement of the medical equipment, that we will cover in this next video. Please subscribe the channel if you like it, and more to get more other details of this equipment and other details of the channel. Please watch this other video which is shown here in this location. You can watch the channel. Thank you very much for watching. Bye bye.